Welcome to our Week 7 lecture. So for this week, we read an article by McClure titled Googlepedia, Turning Information Behaviors into Research Skills. And one thing that the article pointed out was that 9 out of 10 students use the internet first for research. And I'd have to say that for many students, this is where the research usually tends to stop. And so this article kind of goes into that, and where do we go from here? You know, Google and Wikipedia are great places to start, but then where can we go from there? And then the article also defined the term information literacy as, quote, a set of abilities requiring individuals to recognize when information is needed and have the ability to locate, evaluate, and use effectively the needed information. So this is when we're working on a project or an essay and we say to ourselves, okay, I need to do some research here. So then the article discusses Wikipedia, which is often disregarded by most teachers. I know when I was a student, I was always told not to use Wikipedia, and I'm sure that many of you have had a professor or more than one professor tell you not to use Wikipedia. And in a sense, that's true. It's not the best idea, but it's a good idea if you're going to use it properly. It is a good place to begin your research. It's great for pre-search. So, you know, when you first get started, great, go to Wikipedia, do a quick search of your topic, see what you come up with. You can read an overview, but that wouldn't be something you would actually cite on an essay. This is just background information. And there's always a list at the bottom, like we talked about before, a list of sources. Now you can go find these sources and read them for yourself. And that's also a great place, you know, to get started because it will kind of guide you in different directions. And always cross-check your information elsewhere. So if you read something on Wikipedia, look to see if you can find that information somewhere else. And then the article told the story of Edward. Edward did some great things. He started with Wikipedia. He searches Wikipedia for his topic, finds the list of original sources that are cited from Wikipedia. However, he also does some things that aren't so great. He doesn't look elsewhere for information. He stops at Wikipedia. He doesn't determine the credibility of the sources that he finds on Wikipedia. And he doesn't want to use the library because he's not comfortable using the library. Now, most of us are not going to be comfortable using the library right now because maybe this is the first class that we've even learned about the library. So it can make us nervous to think about, and you know, it's easier to use Wikipedia or Google. But this is a great class to push yourself and use the library, especially the library database. Now, if you use it through our Lindenwood Library website, you can even chat with a reference librarian right there on the page, or you can pick up the phone and call a reference librarian. We have many great reference librarians that are there to help, and they love to help. You know, not many students reach out to them, so they're waiting and they're ready. They love helping, and they can help you find some great sources for your topic if you just reach out. And then the article told the story of Susan. Susan used Google, and again, that was it. And that was the problem there. So she was swayed by that predictive search, like we talked about in our weekly discussions, where, you know, we don't always get the best search results that are for, you know, our topic. It'd be something that's more suited to us, but maybe not our research and our topic. So we're not going to always get the greatest sources there. She used the first thing she hit on Google. So again, it's probably full of ads. It's not a great source. She was swayed by a visual that was showing more pros than cons, so then she assumed that the pro side was stronger because of this visual message. And then finally, she just had a get it done research method. I'm going to Google this, I'm going to read the first couple of things that pop up, and then I am finished and ready to write my paper. And so that was the problem there. It didn't go any further. And then finally, we need to talk about the CRAP test for evaluating sources. So anytime you find a source, you need to ask yourself these series of questions. Is it current? When was it written? When was it updated? Is this something we would want to use? The relevance. Is this in a journal or an article that is relevant to our topic? That'll help us to know if it is credible. Authority. Who is the author of this source? And then let's Google the author's name to see who they really are and if they have authority to speak. Are they an expert on this topic? The accuracy. Again, you might want to Google to see if this is a peer-reviewed journal or something about the source, not just the author, but even the source of where it comes from, to make sure that we can trust it and that it is accurate. And then finally, the purpose. Is this persuasive? Is there an agenda that you can point out? Are they trying to sell something? So they're writing articles to persuade you to buy a certain product. So you always want to look at the purpose. And that'll help you decide if something is a good source or not. And then finally, I'll leave you with some advice. So use Wikipedia to get a general sense of your topic, a background or overview, and to get some sources to start with. Use Google to cross-check your information. Like I said, look up the author's name, look up the journal. You can use Google for things like this. Use Google Scholar. Unfortunately, sometimes you have to pay for these articles, and sometimes you can find the exact same article on the library database for free because the school pays for it for you to use for free. Use multiple searches and phrases in Google. Don't just Google your topic. Think about your different main points and Google those as well and search those as well so that you can find different information. I challenge you to use at least 2 library databases using multiple search words and phrases from your paper, not just your main topic. And then here I've listed some of the most popular databases that will help you, like Academic Search Ultimate, Nexus Uni, PLOS1, and ProQuest. So these are all great databases for your paper. And again, don't be afraid to reach out to a reference librarian because they will love to help you and they really will find things for your paper. Even if you feel stuck and you feel like everything you search, you can't find something, give them 5 minutes and I bet you they'll find some great sources for you. So good luck. Reach out if you need any help. And I look forward to reading your drafts next week.